It must have been at least 3 years in and 3 level 40 0-star Dragonites for me to listen to my more learned trainers. Waste of dust, candy, time. And when I traded one to Minimod, it went lucky, and he got a 98% IV beast. Pretty noobish behavior, chaps. Loving your work as ever. Yeah, it's rough.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
Everyone is invited around the Campfire app.
Happy anniversary, Pokemon Go, and hats off to lucky number 7.
There's glitz and glam at your local PokéStop showcase.
Time to catch up on some Z's with Snorlax and the new event. And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 242. It's July 8th. It's a Saturday. It's like the middle of the day on a Saturday, which is weird for us on 2 points. First of all, it's the middle of the day. We never do this. Secondly, it's a Saturday, which is very far removed from a Tuesday. So sorry about the delay. This episode will be coming out. It should be coming out on the 9th, Sunday. The next day, it's tomorrow from our day of recording. Happy Community Day Classic for Squirtle, by the way. We had some delays. I was sick earlier this week after coming back from NAIC, and Kyle was busy. I don't remember.
No, we just also were not keen on recording on the 4th of July.
Oh, that's right. I remember there being some other thing. We're like, oh, this is probably for the best. Yeah, fireworks. We both have animals in our houses. Yeah, that would have been a task.
Yeah.
Quite the task. But anyway, we are here and we're ready to talk about, oh my gosh, so much Pokemon Go related stuff that's happened and Niantic related topics. But first and foremost, let's knock out our goals that we set last week. Let's see how we did. So, Mr. Kyle, over the Dark and Flames, not Fire and Flames, the Dark and Flames event, you wanted to put Turtonator in your decks. Did you manage to do that?
Yes.
Okay. What about the Dark Flames research?
I did.
All of it?
Yeah.
Nice. Mega Sableye, did you raid that one?
I did.
Okay.
And one.
Oh, well, it counts. That was the goal. 300,000 experience?
I did not do that.
Okay. All right. So 3 out of 4. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Considering how we were just talking about how you just didn't have time to play this past week, you still managed to really knock out quite a few of these goals. So nice. For myself, I wanted to catch a shiny Turtonator, and everything but that happened. I caught a hundo on my first Turtonator raid, and then my first Mega Sableye raid, 100% Sableye as well. So that was good. But no shiny, unfortunately. So that's a miss for me. 50 eggs hatched. I did do that. NAIC was awesome. Lots of walking, hatching, talking, all that good stuff. Pokemon goodness. And the Dark Flames research, I did do that. So that's 2 out of 3 for me. Percentage wise, you win, Kyle. So good for you and your 75% success rate this week. Awesome. So you know what? We just got so much stuff to talk about in the news, especially all the things that are Pokemon Go adjacent to talk about. So I really think we should just hop right in instead of dawdling. So let's get to it. Yo, what up? It's the news. All right. So let's start off on a nice little note first. NAIC, the North American International Championships. I was there this past weekend with DeFi 250 as well. And T-Hubs, member of the community moderator and regular travel companion. We had a nice time. It was great. I feel like my eyes have been opened to what PvP is in Pokemon Go. And of course, it was fun watching some TCG. Of course, I did get suckered into buying some cards. And the VGC, the video game stuff, was incredible to watch. And the Unite crowd was impossible to ignore. They were so energetic. It was nuts. Kyle, if I squint a little bit from the back row, it looked like League of Legends. It really, really did.
I mean, if you squished League of Legends down for like 80% of its content, that's what you have. Is left as Unite. So
okay, fair enough. Hey, they're putting a bunch of new Pokemon. Mewtwo's coming out. Like all the evolutions are just about in there. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are. And apparently it's a lot of fun.
They're only missing the Kanto ones now.
Yeah.
Just weird.
That is weird. What a backwards way to do that.
I mean, they're the least popular, so it's not that weird, but still.
I guess. But like Vaporeon is like non-negotiable for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know. It's boring. I think Sylveon is great.
Yeah.
And like Umbreon can be cool because it's like a tank versus the way the rest are pretty much DPS. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Leafeon is pretty. I'm a big.
Also, can't
Leafeon
wait
fan.
for Mewtwo to be as gigabusted as Zacian was for like 8 months.
Let's see. That'll be great.
Zacian was so broken that the Unite community was threatening to riot.
Really? Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Like it was. Think of the most broken League of Legends champion on release, and it was
Rengar.
Worse than that. He's was one-shotting everybody basically for free. And it's for people who've played Unite. He has more stats at level 1 than Greninja has at level 9.
Whoa. Hey, to be fair, it is a legendary Pokemon. Who needs to balance that out?
Yeah, exactly. So people were upset.
Yeah, that sounds like a Rengar situation for sure. Yep. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, needless to say, I'm so motivated to try Unite again and play some TCG. I got to play some with Tyler. It was fun over the weekend. And man, the PvP crowd, they know how to party. They definitely do. I thought Pokemon Go players in general were good about partying and stuff, but the PvPers, it's something about competitive folks, I think, that they really seek to take the edge off and just relax in the most incredible way possible. Outdoor Jenga being one of them. That was very fun. But shout out to all the battlers I got I had the privilege of watching. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for a wonderful weekend. Okay, now to shift gears briefly for a less than stellar headline. So you probably heard about this. This news came out late last week. It was actually while I was en route to Ohio for this event, or for the event rather. So Niantic had some news to share, and here are some of the bullet points. Things were not going well monetarily, and in order to bring the company down to a size that was more manageable, they decided to narrow their focuses, which is a very nice way of saying several things. One, we are stopping development, we being Niantic, stopping development on the Marvel IP that they had previously announced they were working on. They will be ending everything that has to do with NBA All World. And they let go 230 employees.
A quarter of the staff of the whole staff.
Now, this was then followed by some other statements in that same article, like we're going to be doubling down on Pokemon Go and our first party apps and all that good stuff, which is fine. But some of those layoffs impacted those teams as well. So it's got this sort of like mixed message sort of feeling to it, although none of us really have the full picture. So while it is really easy to be an armchair CEO and be like, well, it's because you didn't keep the remote raid passes around. Of course you don't have any money. While that might be partially true, I don't think that they were in a good spot even with that revenue because they grew so much. They spread themselves so thin between these IPs. And realistically, think about the licensing, right? For NBA, they didn't have made up people. Those were real names of real players, real likenesses. I'm sure licensing for that was very expensive, right? Yeah. And Marvel had to have been too. That's a lot of money. Gotta be.
Several thoughts. One, everybody said the NBA game was not going to work.
Yeah.
Everybody said it. So yeah, being an armchair CEO is ridiculous. We don't know what actually is happening, but we can look at the concepts and be like, why did we think this was going to work when we knew, like everybody else knew it wasn't going to work? It's not you're not targeting the right demographic. And also the gameplay doesn't translate with the theming. Like it's just.
Yeah, I heard the sentiment, and I feel this way too over the weekend, being around Pokemon people. And it's like if people that like NBA are gonna go outside, they're gonna be playing basketball.
Yeah.
They have games for inside too. They have NBA video games already that are very, very popular,
Like it's so weird. Niantic has this idea that like Ingress is their concept. That was it. Pokemon Go is just Ingress, but with Pokemon. There's no real arguments there. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Ingress is not a good game. Don't let anybody argue with that. If Ingress cost Niantic any money to run, I'm sure that it would be shut down right now. But it doesn't cost them any money because they made it. So, and the gameplay fits so perfectly conceptually for Pokemon. It is just the absolute perfect blend of experience for the genre.
Mm-hmm.
And Niantic just sees it and thinks that they can attach it to any other genre, and it doesn't work. We have the Monster Hunter one that didn't get closed. Yeah. Is the closest thing so far conceptually of all of the ones that they've copied. And even then, I think you're stretching it like real hard.
I don't know. I have such high hopes. And I mean, it is because you and I both love Monster Hunter. You more so than me. Yeah. But I think I have higher hopes for that game than you do currently.
From what they've said, it seems like they're trying to blend it with other ideas versus just the go out and play, which is cool.
Yeah. Like you can get a hunt and then bring it home and have like a more involved gameplay experience, I think was what they were saying.
Yeah. And so like those work, but why? They spent all this money. They took all these concepts that didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. The NBA is really expensive. Like Chris said, Marvel owned by Disney, very expensive.
Yeah.
Even though they're okay with having very bad video games made.
Marvel, they're just trying. They just keep trying.
I had another tangent that I got sidetracked on now. One of the comments in the articles, 2 comments stood out to me. One that a lot of people jumped on but didn't really like pay attention to was he said our expansion our costs have outpaced our revenue. And everyone's like, how in the world are you not making money? That's not what that means.
Right.
That means that if they were previously making $100 and spending $50, and now they're making $105 and they're spending $75, they're still making a profit. They're just not growing at the same pace in the way they're spending.
Right. It's a less efficient business model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one, like, I get it. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. That's where phrases of people saying like, oh, they're losing money is weird because it can be misleading or like misinformed because you can interpret it as they are making negative money when it really could just mean they're making less money.
But on that same topic, he also said in this article...
Oh, he being John Hanke, by the way.
He being John Hanke, yes. CEO, yes. All that. Mm-hmm. Everyone, no praise to John Hanke anymore. But he said that their profits or their income, I don't remember what the wording was. I don't have the article in front of me right now, was down to pre-COVID levels. And like those were his specific words. They were down to pre-COVID levels, specifically talking about 2018, 2019 versus 2021, 2022, even though we're in 2023 now. The fiscal year is not done, so it doesn't really count necessarily. And you can't help but look at that and go, how much of that is related to it not being in the middle of a pandemic? And how much of that is related to decisions that you've made as a company? It seems like from their standpoint, it is fully tied into it no longer being in the middle of a pandemic. And if, from a player's standpoint, it's from all the changes that they've made. So we're at a complete impasse of like communication here.
I mean, I feel like there is a little bit of a thread, though, that can be followed when you look at the interviews that Michael has done, right? Michael Staranka has done, and mentions things like, oh, what's a regret that you have? Oh, I wish that we had onboarded remote raids in a different way or slower, right? Because they feel like it blew, the longevity of the game out of the water, right? Which has been the supposed motivation behind all of these changes for game economy, game balance, etc., game longevity, for like remote raid pass changes and a bunch of other things, economy balances and price changes. Like, so that reasoning would fit in there. That would track with their perspective.
Exactly, but that's the argument. Does it track? Because they were still making a lot of money.
Yeah.
At the start of 2023, like we know, at least to a certain extent, as much as the public can possibly know, obviously, unless they announce, and they're never going to do that. And, being part of the community, you can kind of see how the community reacts to scenarios, but there's also a metric ton of players that aren't part of any communities. So
yes, that's very, very true.
It's a combination of both their decisions and the way the player base has changed. And it doesn't feel like they want to acknowledge that their decisions also have an impact. The decisions to change things over the course of the game.
I feel like it's implied. I don't know. It's just the soft part that's just not being said out loud. Like if you just read between the lines, I think it's more like, oh yeah, like our, just blatant statements like our revenue and cost are no longer in parity, right? Like I get it. I think that's pretty much making it that implies that something else has gone on, because otherwise they wouldn't, if they thought that the cost of the thing was going to be worth in the long run to begin with, that they would have kept it, right? They would have kept like Marvel or something else.
Well, okay, in terms of spending for other projects, sure.
Yes.
But I'm not really talking about other projects here.
Okay.
Because no matter what anyone wants to say, Pokemon Go makes Niantic all of their money.
Yeah, like 95% of their revenue.
99%.
Yeah.
Peridot's not going to make them any money.
No.
And Pikmin Bloom doesn't make them any money. It gets them the user data, but like there's people open that game once a day. They send their Pikmin out and then they close it. There's no actual engagement here.
There's like a $200 bundle or something in Pikmin Bloom.
Yeah, every game has that though. It doesn't mean people are buying it.
Pokemon Go's only got the $99 one.
Yeah. But that, Pokemon knows they don't need any more. But
True. They'll just buy $200 boxes. Okay, yeah, sure.
Some people would do it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm kind of talking in circles right now, so I'm gonna stop. But it is very strange to see such a massive, massive layoff. When a company lays off a quarter of their staff, I don't know what you have to say, because there's more than just, oh, we don't think these are going to work out. Mistakes were made somewhere at some point.
They were,
and people paid the price. I don't want to negate the fact that a lot of people lost their jobs.
Oh no, I don't think talking about this in this way is disrespectful to those people whatsoever, because I mean, let us just say, without being specific, some of the people that we got to work with that are wonderful folks no longer work at Niantic, and they really did lose some incredible people, and that's a huge bummer no matter how you slice it. So
and it's just it's kind of weird to me, because I feel like we never recovered from the last layoff that they did.
Yeah.
Like in 2021, they laid off like 80 employees or something like that. I don't remember exact numbers. And I feel like that's been a kind of excuse from Niantic for a long time.
Yeah, we
don't have the staff to take
resources
care of stuff,
or whatever word they choose to use at the time. I agree. And
that's just kind of feels weird.
It does. This whole thing feels really bad. It really, really does. And it was evident from chatter on social media that the people that were laid off really had almost zero heads up. Like they left for the weekend and then they were just done.
Yeah.
They were told, we're done. Sorry, you can't come back, sort of thing. And that's really depressing and disheartening and not great. So, Our hearts go out to the people that, are looking for new jobs. Hopefully get picked up, because especially the people that we know and talk to, incredibly qualified and would do great in that role anywhere else. So please share that stuff if you see it online. But it is also possible to have that sentiment and be like Niantic, you messed up from a public perspective. Again, without knowing the full picture, but it ain't hard to follow a few breadcrumbs to some conclusions at least. But anyway, we talked about this already longer than I thought we were going to. So let's move on to something else that is technically a positive for a lot of people. You might not care, but a lot of people do. Campfire is now available to everyone. Straightforward. It is now available to everybody. It's not this beta thing anymore. It's not this, some regions have it, some don't. No, it should be available to everybody in your app store now. So go ahead and download it, light those flares, do your business, use it to find, I don't know, people to raid with or something. It's good. Okay, there's that. Let's talk about it's almost ironic to be talking about this event juxtaposed so closely to such a negative communication. But the Pokemon Go 7-year anniversary event. Woo! Okay, trainers, there's always something happening in the world of Pokemon Go, and soon that'll be our 7th anniversary. This event is actually currently live. We're in day 3 of it, I think, right now. So, yeah, it's happening already. Join us for our 7th anniversary party event featuring rotating bonuses, glimmering Gimme Ghoul coins, different Pokemon appearing each day to help us celebrate, the return of a shiny Masterwork research story, and more. Thank you for joining us in adventuring, exploring, and learning more about Pokemon over the last 7 years. From now until next year's party, let's go. Couple of debuts, and they don't sound notable, but let me assure you, they are. Wartortle and Blastoise wearing a party hat. What this means is that you can now evolve your Squirtle with a party hat into a Wartortle and a Blastoise, and they will keep that party hat on, which is really, really great. Bonuses: increased chance of becoming lucky friends, increased chance of Pokemon becoming lucky through trading, and chance of finding 7, 77, or more Gimme Cool coins when you spin a PokéStop with a golden lure module. If you don't know how to do that, it's a Nintendo Switch tie-in with Scarlet and Violet. So, I should also probably say that this runs from the 6th through the 12th. So this will be wrapping up. When is the 12th? Is that? That's Wednesday. That's upcoming Wednesday. Yep. So there's that. In addition to the above, each day of the 7th anniversary party will have its own unique bonuses. So the 6th, the first day, was 2 times experience for catching Pokemon. Yesterday, day of recording, July 7th, 2 times Stardust for catching. Today, again, day of recording, July 8th, 2 times Candy for catching Pokemon. Tomorrow, which will be Sunday on the 9th, is half egg hatch distance when eggs are placed in an incubator on this day, which coincides with tomorrow being Community Day Classic Squirtle. That bonus is quarter hatch distance. No word on if that'll stack or not. I'm going to assume no. So even though that bonus is lasting all day, you should wait until the event period to get the quarter hatch distance instead of just half. July 10th, friendship levels will increase twice as fast. July 11th, 2 times candy for transferring Pokemon. July 12th, 2 times experience for evolving Pokemon. There you go, Kyle. There's your evolution day. You can do that on Wednesday. Wild encounters include Squirtle wearing a party hat, Pikachu wearing a cake hat, Meowth, Ponyta, Togedemaru, Galarian Ponyta, which is awesome, Absol, and then starters will show up more frequently in the wild in generation order from July 6th through July 12th. So, for example, on the 6th was Kanto, yesterday was Johto, and so on and so forth. So they should be. You have a chance, I think, of seeing all of them at any point, but they're like predominantly spawning on their given day. So yesterday I was swimming in Cyndaquil and I was very, very happy. For raids, 1-star raids will feature Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, all 3 of them wearing party hats, or you might be lucky and find a Pikachu wearing a cake hat. This is a different cake hat Pikachu than we've had in the past. It's like a real big to-do sort of cake, like multi-levels. Looks like a wedding cake, but for a party. 3 stars will feature Magneton, Lapras, Flareon, Snorlax, and Celio. Do with that information what you will. I don't know who you're rating out of this. Maybe Snorlax, Lapras. I'm not rating Magneton personally. Flareon, I did do one this weekend. Thanks so much, Steve. And see, there was no other raid around.
If I had to raid something here, if someone was like, pick a raid. Snorlax, probably.
Snorlax, yeah. We were trying to do Steve was trying to do a raid train, and I was hanging out. And then there was no raids around the convention center. It was really hot and rainy. And so there was this 3-star raid that was going to hatch in like 10 minutes. And there was 12, 15 of us standing around. But let's just wait. This is going to be a Turtonator. Absolutely going to be a Turtonator, right? And the entire time I'm standing like, this isn't a Turtonator. I'm going to be so upset. If this is a Flareon, I'm going to cry. I'm not going to rate it if it's a Flareon. Pops, it's a Flareon. And I did it. I rated it anyway. I just couldn't help myself.
Yep.
Geez. So it does happen.
I have to correct you. This is the same K-Cat Pikachu that we've had in the past.
Oh, is it? Okay.
We got it last year for the anniversary as well.
All right.
I still have one. So
great. Thank you for correcting me. All right. So there you go. Kyle's right. Look at that.
Someone was going to correct you otherwise.
That's true. I'm glad it was you. Actually,
we had to make a correction from a couple weeks ago. Now I can't remember what it was.
We did. I thought we made all of our corrections last week. We made like 2 retractions.
No, there was.
Are you sure?
I'm like,
Kyle, there's a lot of things that I cut out sometimes that we say and then I find out later are not correct. So it's very possible.
The evolution for Ursaluna, it is still active in the game when there's a full moon. That is a thing.
Is it true? Because I haven't seen confirmation of it.
I also haven't seen confirmation, but that's what we were told. We were wrong, so I have to bring it up.
Okay.
Also, the theming for global Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
are colors. they're organized by colors apparently.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like an idiot.
I felt
shouldn't be there, but it's okay.
Very particularly not smart when I read that. I was like, oh yeah, okay. That's right. In 5-star raids, you're going to be seeing Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. This is not a surprise. We already knew this. Mega is featuring Mega Blastoise, so that's cool. Field research task encounters. Anniversary-themed field research tasks will be available. Complete them to earn encounters with first partner Pokemon, such as Bulbasaur, Cyndaquil, Mudkip, and more. Some field research tasks will also award Mega Energy for the following Pokemon: Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, Sceptile, Blaziken, and Swampert starters, essentially. Timed research for $2 US or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency. You'll be able to access event-exclusive timed research. Complete the event-themed research tasks, such as hatching 7 eggs or evolving 7 Pokemon, to receive the following: 1 Incubator, 1 Super Incubator, 1 Premium Battle Pass, 1 Lucky Egg, 1 Rocket Radar, 1 Star Piece, 1 Incense, 77,777 experience, and an encounter with Pikachu wearing a party hat. I'm going to go out and say something that might come across as controversial, and I think that this one is actually worth $2. The items it provides are pretty cool, and the tasks were a good balance of challenging. I only have walking my buddy to collect a candy, 2 more of those, and then I'll be done with the entire thing. It's relatively easy. Like 2 of the other tasks are catch 77 Pokemon using berries, and then there was one that's just catch 77 Pokemon. It's all 7 based, obviously, for the 7th anniversary. So I think it's worthwhile. Kyle, would you argue otherwise? I mean, other than just giving money to the game, which some people are against to begin with, I think if you do spend money, this one's not too bad.
I think in terms of strictly premium items that you get out of it, then yeah, it's fine. Like, technically speaking, Rocket Radars are $2 or whatever. An Incense is 75 coins.
Yeah.
Like, it adds up, but I wouldn't buy it if you didn't want the completed one in your list.
Personally. Oh, well, I do. That's priceless.
So, that's it. Also, 150,000 experience with a Lucky Egg is not too bad either.
No, it's really not. It's really, really not. Especially for those of you that are still on your level 50 journey. That's a chunk. That's a chunk right there. Not naming any names, Kyle.
It is never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
There's no way.
Over my dead cold trainer fingers. Yeah, so there's that. You and Mew. Let's talk about another research. Oh, really quick. That last one, it's timed. So if you're hearing this late and it's like the last day of the event, unless you plan on like really grinding it out, don't buy it because you won't have enough time to do it.
Yeah, I will say my biggest issue is it is timed. I think it's just kind of just kind of bad manners.
Yeah,
personally,
it is BM for sure.
Sometimes it fits. I think sometimes, but I don't think anything paid should be a timed research.
I'm with you there. I really agree. But let's talk about this other research. Like we were saying, you and Mew for US $5 or the equivalent price into your local currency, you'll be able to pick up the Masterwork Research Story all-in-one number 151. Originally available during Pokemon Go Tour Kanto in 2021, we're making this Masterwork Research Story available once more as part of our 7th anniversary party. Complete it for an encounter with the elusive shiny Mew. This should be familiar with those of you that have done this research in the past. Yeah. Once purchased, you'll be able to access a Masterwork Research Story intended to be completed over a long period of time. Tickets for this Masterwork Research Story will be available to purchase until Wednesday, July 12th at 8 p.m. local time. Ticket holders will gain access to the Masterwork Research Story during the 7th anniversary party event. To receive the Masterwork Research, you must open Pokemon Go at some point between Thursday, July 6th at 10 a.m. and Wednesday, July 12th at 8 p.m. local time. So during the event, during the 7th anniversary event, essentially. After you've received the Masterwork Research, you can complete it at any time. It is not timed. You have it once you have it, which is great.
I hope so.
Trainers who purchase or have previously purchased this Masterwork Research Story can also enjoy the following bonuses for the duration of our 7th anniversary party event. Those 3 bonuses are Those bonuses are 2 times incense duration, 2 times daily adventure incense duration, and 2 times lure module duration. Nice little package there for some, added efficacy for your incense and stuff, I suppose. Please note that you will not be able to gift this Masterwork Research ticket to other trainers. Last thing about this that is not explicitly said that Kyle pointed out before we started recording is that while it does not say it, it is the case that if you have completed this in the past, you cannot purchase it a second time. So if you're looking for a shiny Mew with better IVs, sorry, bucko, maybe next time. But you do get those bonuses for free even if you completed this back in 2021. So there is something to that. This is a chance for people to catch up, and honestly, I think it's really cool. I'm down for
really
it.
Surprised, not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. This is the type of thing I was expecting to not come back around.
It's shiny Mew though. It's so important.
On the same note, it's shiny Mew, and Nintendo, or the Pokemon Company, I should say, is very protective of their mythicals.
True.
Very, very protective. So I don't know. The shiny Mew from Kanto Tour was only the second time shiny Mew has ever existed. First time?
Yeah.
It was a big deal. People were playing Pokemon Go for the first time to get it type of deal. So it was just, I honestly was not expecting it to come back. So it's cool. It's good to see.
It is great to see. So if you have not done this before, it is certainly worth picking up. I know it is $5, but it is, in my opinion, at least, Kyle, I'm hoping yours too, worth getting because it is a very rare Pokemon.
Of all the times that we've spent money on research for Pokemon encounters, this is probably the only one that's actually ever been worth it.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. Besides maybe Shiny Celebi, but Shiny Celebi is less rare than Shiny Mew was.
Shiny Celebi was given for free with the tie-in for the movie, though, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was also tied to the Masterwork Research. Did we get a second one? Don't we have 2?
No, I only have 1. Caught during special research, so I don't know.
Hard to say. That really clears it up, doesn't it?
It doesn't really tell me very much at all. I thought it was a tie-in for a movie, but yes, it makes sense that it would have been for the Johto Tour.
Yeah, the Secrets of the Jungle thing.
But no, this couldn't have been the Johto tour. I finished it in December.
I believe it's from a GOFest. We got Masterwork research at a GOFest. I don't remember.
No
way.
Either way. I don't know.
Look. Let's not get ourselves back into a retract. Oh, did you find your answer?
I found the regular Celebi that I caught during Johto tour. So does that count?
Sure, that's fine.
It was 2 years after the shiny Celebi that I got.
Yeah.
So the shiny Celebi was definitely tied to the movie. I'm trying to remember.
Secrets of the Jungle.
No, that Secrets of the Jungle was
Zarude. Not Zarude. Zarude doesn't exist.
Look, wait. I can't remember the history of Pokemon Go right now. It's been 7 years.
Well, we have played every minute of every event since. We can't remember. But anyway, regardless, that's really neither here nor there. But we're talking about Shiny Mew, and Shiny Mew is rare and worthwhile picking up. So, go ahead.
It's worth mentioning. It's a small thing for some people. It's kind of nice having something to work towards, especially minus the Kanto Platinum Medal for people.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of tasks that you have to complete and that you can like give yourself direction, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, unless you're the sort of person that just has 9 unfinished research in their special research list.
Exactly. We don't worry about that though.
I'm surrounded by them. I was playing with Steve, and Steve also has a bunch of unfinished research, and I'm just like, geez, what? Come on, everybody.
I really do want to make an effort to complete some of them. I'm going to complete the 2 rocket ones that I have currently.
Okay. So,
and regret getting the Regirock, probably transfer them or something. I don't know.
I would challenge you to complete one of them as one of your goals this week.
Well, if I complete one, I complete both. They're both on the last step.
Okay.
But that I'm going to. I literally have a super rocket radar on right now. I just need to fight a balloon.
Who are you looking for? Any of them?
No, super radar.
Giovanni.
Just need to fight Giovanni.
Big guy. Big evil dude. Okay, I gotcha. Really quick, before we move on to the next news item, 2 last things for the 7th anniversary is that there are new avatar items and stickers available, a 7th anniversary top set and a 7th anniversary pants. They're cute. They're worthwhile. The stickers are cute too. You know how to get them in the shop, spin some stops, etc., etc. Cool. All right. Introducing a new way to compete. PokéStop showcases. This was, for lack of a better phrase, showcased a little bit early in a couple of regions, and then that ended. And now this was the global release of showcases. And these took place a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, something like that. Trainers, throughout all your adventures and travels, you probably have quite a few Pokemon that are particularly special. Maybe it's a massive Snorlax or an itty bitty Morlul. And have you ever wanted to show off these extra special favorites? Now you can. We're excited to announce PokéStop showcases. In this new type of competition, trainers will be able to enter Pokemon into showcases at select Pokéstops and have them compete against other trainers' Pokemon. Only a limited selection of Pokemon will be able to compete in a particular showcase. These eligible Pokemon will be chosen from Pokemon featured in Pokemon Go's current event. The first PokéStop showcases will take place during the Pokemon Go 7th anniversary party. Trainers will be able to enter Squirtle into showcases at select Pokestops and see whose Pokemon is the biggest. There will be an icon above Pokestops to indicate where a showcase is available. It was like a little circle, a little token thing, and
I didn't get to see it.
It got like a little pattern on it as it got closer. Yep. Showcases will only run for a short time. Once a showcase is over, all trainers will get rewards based on their Pokemon's rank, and the trainer who takes home the number 1 spot will get a medal. Stay tuned for more information on future showcases. We hope you enjoy this new way to compete with your fellow trainers. So I got a chance to actually compete in 2 of them. While I was driving around, I pulled over into a couple of places and saw some showcases and dropped 2 Pokemon in. I got a 1st place and a 4th place. The 1st place was because I was unchallenged. Yep, Pokestop in the middle of nowhere. And the other one was because I'm bad. I got 4th place. So, yep. It's cool. You got like little confetti and stuff. It's a neat little UI. I got some Stardust. That was neat. Work towards my medal, I guess. Yep. It's just fun. It's just fun. And so in particular, this one was, who has the biggest Squirtle. So while they did make a point of being like, hey, do you have special Pokemon like a small Morlul or a big Snorlax? It really doesn't matter unless they're allowing or they're comparing those types of Pokemon. So what they're really saying is you really need to catch, XXS and XXL Pokemon of all kinds in order to be competitive in these things. Because it's not just going to be your favorites. Kind of a weird narrative clash, I think. The way they introduce this, at least.
It's a little bit strange. I don't know. Let's finish reading this before I think we keep talking about it.
There's a couple of little subsections here, and the first one is entering a showcase. Pokestops hosting Pokestop showcases will have a unique icon above them prior to entering a Pokemon. The showcase icon above the Pokestop will be green. If you tap the Pokestop, you can then tap showcase to enter a Pokemon. Once a Pokemon has been entered into that showcase, the icon above the Pokestop will turn purple. You can only enter a Pokemon at a Pokestop that you are physically near. So you got to be close enough to interact with it, more or less. If you can spin it, you can do the showcase. Yeah. Showcases will take place at the same Pokestops throughout the season, so make sure to visit that Pokestop regularly, which is great because the remote one that I got a first place in is the one that's just out of reach across the street. So as long as I go into the yard, I think I've got first places for the rest of the season, hopefully.
Once people start putting in effort to do it, you never know.
No, I was unchallenged. Please leave me alone in the middle of nowhere.
But I'm just saying that this was only the first time. Everyone's like, okay, now I'm going to start doing showcases once a week. I got to find that right Pokestop.
Man, if there's any other Pokemon trainers in my neighborhood, they're about to learn today. That's
I'm gonna make the drive when you're not home and put a Pokemon in there.
Like a huge Squirtle.
Talk to your sister and be like, "Hey, is Chris home?" No. Like, hey, I just let me go through the backyard real quick. It's okay.
Really quick. Okay. Entering your Pokemon into the showcase does not leave them at the Pokestop. Trainers will still be able to trade, transfer, change form, or evolve their Pokemon after entering them into a showcase. That is bizarre to me. So I should have tested this. I didn't know that this was a thing. So like if I put my Squirtle in and then I evolve it to a Wartortle, I wonder if it keeps the snapshot of the time that you submitted it, or it disqualifies you.
I bet you it keeps a snapshot because it can be evolved, because it can be traded. I bet you they're literally just taking a picture of whatever stats of the Pokemon you hit enter, and then that's it. There's no other actual data stored on the stop.
It'd be kind of ridiculous, probably server side, if they were constantly monitoring the status of those Pokemon.
Yeah.
Each Pokestop showcase can support 50 Pokemon. An individual Pokemon can only be entered into one showcase at a time.
Mm-hmm. So you can't like get one XXL Squirtle that's 0.01 meters bigger than the normal and just put it in 50 stops.
That's right. Yeah, you got that King of the Hill Squirtle. Congratulations. The Tri-County area is yours. Switching Pokemon. You can catch showcase eligible Pokemon throughout the duration of the showcase period. Trainers can also switch out the Pokemon they entered into the showcase. Pokemon entered in a showcase can be switched out remotely. So this is similar to how you've managed or how you can manage the Pokemon you have defending a gym, like feeding them berries. But this is to the extent of once you're in that showcase entered, you can then go back and switch out other Pokemon. So if you want to like be strategic, right? Like, oh, if I put my second largest in this one with the Pokemon I'm stacked up against, and I move my larger over here, I'll get 2 first places instead of a first and second.
Can you see the size of the other Pokemon that have entered, or is it just say your position, like your first or second?
I believe that's the case. Yes.
That
you're asking, I don't remember.
I was just curious because that would like be able to let you actually strategize.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
And question, because this wording kind of confused me because I haven't taken part yet. You can catch showcase eligible Pokemon throughout the duration of the showcase period.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put in Pokemon you caught before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my one that won first place was a Sunglasses Squirtle from several years ago.
Okay. That sentence doesn't, like, why did this need to exist? It's kind of strange.
They're trying to just say that, you can catch things while the showcase is still going on and swap them in. But yes, why lead with that? It is unclear. I suppose.
I don't. Yeah, it just feels almost more deliberately confusing to me.
The writing could have been much more sterile.
it makes it sound like a catch cup, but a
it does.
And that's why I was just a little confused having not taken part.
They might choose to flex conditions like that in the future. Who knows?
They're gonna have to, but we'll keep going.
Okay. Checking where you rank. You'll be able to see where your Pokemon ranks by checking the leaderboard section on the PokéStop showcase page. There's your answer to the question.
Well, but it doesn't say how much you're losing by. My question is, do I know how much I'm losing by?
You could swap them around and then maybe figure it out, since there's no like cooldown on swapping or anything. And then lastly, claim your rewards. Once a showcase concludes, all trainers who participated will receive rewards such as Stardust, Experience, and more. The top 3 can receive rewards such as an incubator, a star piece, and more. The trainer that takes home the number 1 spot will get a medal. I did get a star piece and quite a bit of Stardust and a little bit of experience from my showcase first place. So I can confirm that it does give you a number of nice items. Trainers can claim their rewards via the Today view once the showcase concludes, or they can claim them directly from the PokéStop. The icon on the PokéStop that hosted the showcase will turn orange if there are rewards for trainers to claim. And that concludes the article in all of its glory. All right, so Kyle, thoughts, feelings? Are you actually maybe gonna give these a shot? It's really low maintenance to enter.
I mean, I definitely will give it a shot once I see some of them once they're back on, because this article does not say, but once the showcase is ended, they have not restarted yet. So it's going to be like a once a week type of thing, maybe.
We don't know, maybe 2 times a week with a gap, day. Who knows?
Yeah, but they're not available right now. If I were to go out and play Saturday today, I would not find one.
Yeah. So
it's kind of bizarre. It's Saturday. I'm going to go out and play. Like if I play Pokemon, I'm going to go out on Saturday. But I don't want to sound overly negative. This is not enough.
Oh, what?
This idea is so good, but it feels like they took the first iteration of what they thought of and just put it out there, and they didn't iterate at all on it.
I think this is just what's stable, man.
They only one Pokemon? Well, only one idea of one Pokemon. The size.
It's the first one.
I'm willing to bet that it's going to be one Pokemon every time. I will be astounded if they say put your favorite dragon type Pokemon in here, because everyone's going to put Rayquaza because it's all like 20 some odd meters.
Well, if it's going to be size related.
Well, if it's not size, you put in like I have to think about it for a second, like a
Dratini or a
Dratini. No, Dratini's even that's like a meter long. Well, it's not out yet. Dreepy would be like
Dreepy,
one of the go-to for that one.
Yeah, but functionally 0 weight. They could also do like max CP or IVs. They could do a bunch of different things.
It would have been cooler if Pokemon were amalgamations of stats instead of only identifying as one stat. And I think that's the part that hangs me up.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that I think that they're going to change it even on the next showcase. They might have the same biggest Squirtle showcase while this event is going on if we see it a second time. But I think the next time we see showcases after that, it'll be a thematically relevant Pokemon or type of Pokemon, and it'll be some other modifier.
I think my idea is more if you look at contests from the main series games when we had them, a Pokemon was an amalgamation of stats that made it cool. How its attack influenced its cool stat kind of and stuff like that. Its effectiveness at a showcase could be a correlation between CP, weight, size, what moves it knows, I suppose. Everything is part of an equation behind the scenes that I think there's a way of doing that. And that's why I think this is a simple answer. I think it is positive and a step forward, but it's the type of feature that we could have seen 5 years ago. It's the type of feature that should have come out the year after raids came out.
Yeah, but we didn't have sizes then, or big, super big and super small, rather.
Yeah, but that did not take 6 years to develop.
Not good enough for you, huh? I think this
I
came
also
out when
do
it
not.
needed to.
I just want to go with this one for me personally. I don't want to have to keep every XX large and XX small that I find.
Oh,
Don't want to do that. Don't have enough inventory.
I'm in on that, man. I'm so in on that. Hey, how's
I like
transferring?
catching them.
How's
It's cool to
transferring
catch
to
them.
home? By the way, going for you.
What was that?
Are you still transferring stuff to home?
I have not very many because I have like some shinies and stuff to them now.
Yeah,
but very slowly. Okay, I'm overly negative, but the positive is it is a new feature. It is objectively positive added to the game, and the rewards are kind of neat. Maybe this is kind of just me, but it would be cool if you could pick a reward. Like it gives you 3 rewards for getting first, and you can pick if you want a chunk of experience, a chunk of Stardust, or a premium item, you know? Like it could be a difference between 10,000 experience, 5,000 dust, or a star piece. Something like that. I don't know. That would just be cool to give a little bit of player agency there.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the roulette of the items too. It's kind of fun. It's like you get the dopamine hit of like opening a mystery box sort of thing. As long as the rewards are worthwhile.
You hatch eggs, Chris. Come on.
I do hatch eggs. I would pick the incubator every time. But yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. I liked doing the first one. I think I would agree with you that it could use a little bit more dimension and variety, and that right now they haven't communicated if that is or going to be if that is or is not going to be the case. So we'll just kind of have to see. But some communication about what our expectations are for frequency of when we can see these,
that would be
really helpful.
Tell me it's going to be once a week. Tell me Monday through Wednesday you can enter. Thursday off day, Friday you get your reward. Simple.
Yeah.
Weekends are off because we want you to go raid or something. I don't know.
That would make sense. I would love for these to be another thing that people can engage with during the work week, you know?
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. Oh, yeah, and
so
it encourages daily play.
I would love to know that information though. That'd be
Same.
Nice.
Same. Well, we don't have that information, but we do have some other information. Our last event that we're going to talk about today, the Catching Some Z's event. Ooh, yeah. We talked about this when we talked about the list of events that were happening in July. This one is happening on July 15th and the 16th. Celebrate the upcoming release of Pokemon Go Plus with a delightfully dreamy event, Catching Some Z's, when, like I just said, Saturday, July 15th at 10 a.m. to Sunday, July 16th at 8 p.m. local time. A couple of debuts. Kamala, the drowsing Pokemon, and Snorlax wearing a nightcap. You can complete special research tasks to encounter it. I do believe it can be shiny, so that'll be something to hunt for. It'd be cool. But Kamala is new. That's a fun Pokemon.
I called it. I told you.
You
when
did.
we record 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they're going to do Kamala.
Yeah.
Someone tell Lachlan. He's probably...
Lachlan already knows.
He's probably exploded out of excitement.
Lachlan already knows. Yeah.
Oh, I know. He's just 3 seconds after it was announced. He's probably on Twitter.
Whoa! Yes, more or less.
He's got to change his username now.
It's time. Time to move the needle. Special research. Using Pokemon Go Plus will let you play Pokemon Go without staring at your phone. Using the auto throw function, you'll be able to automatically throw Pokeballs at wild Pokemon while the auto spin function automatically spins PokéStops. You can also adjust the settings to switch between throwing Great Balls or Ultra Balls. After you pair the Pokemon Go Plus with Pokemon Go, you'll be able to take on special research that leads to an encounter with Snorlax wearing a nightcap. It's awfully cute. This Snorlax looks like it'll sleep so soundly. We hope catching it makes your own naps even nicer. Very cute. You can also use Pokemon Go Plus to easily track your sleep with Pokemon Sleep. Just press the center button and place it by your pillow. Connecting your Pokemon Go Plus to Pokemon Go will allow you to enjoy some new features based on your sleep data. And while we're not going to talk about it in its entirety today, there was a infographic / help article / introductory published thing that tells you all about how the Plus and Sleep will work and its integration with Go. If I remember, I'll make sure I put a link in the show notes.
Yeah,
but
it is official too. It's not like someone posting something else out there. It's like PokemonGoPlus.com.
Yeah. But suffice to say, you can track your sleep with the device or with your phone. And then based on that sleep and the performance, air quotes, performance of your sleep, you can get rewards in Pokemon Go. And the example that they showed, now don't get too excited because who knows? But the example that they showed was like for 5 hours and 32 minutes of sleep, which I hope that person's having a nice day. That person received 10,000 Stardust, 2 stickers, and 1 buddy heart with their active buddy, which was a whale lord, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's pretty rad. That's a lot of Stardust.
Actually insane.
Yeah, that's a ton.
Once per day, they said you can do that once per day.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully those rewards stay up there at that tier, because 10,000 Stardust a day just by tracking my sleep. I'm sleeping anyway.
5 hours. They got to reward you for 8 because that's what you're supposed to get.
It's
got to go up. There's got to be at least one more tier above that.
It's going to be interesting to see people tear this down and like put out like what the bundles and stuff are for the rewards and the tiers and things like that.
So it's actually Stardust reward is like 0.2% chance. Most of the time you're just going to get 10 Pokeballs.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's do it.
Myself so sad. I just made myself so sad.
I'm okay with that though. I'll take anything at this point. Again, I'm sleeping anyway.
I mean, yes, I know, but the idea of Stardust is just it's very nice.
And this also, for lack of a better phrase, is sleeping on the extra features that will come with Pokemon Sleep, like the whole sleeping modes and different sleeping styles and catching Pokemon or collecting Pokemon sleeping poses and stuff. It's real cute. The commercial makes me want to cry.
We'll do a gear up on the Pokemon Go Plus after it's out for like full discussion, I think, on it.
Okay, cool.
And that's going to be a hilarious full circle. It only took 5 years because I think my first ever gear up episode was on the Pokemon Go Plus.
Oh yeah, I think we initially were like, this will be tips and tricks and like accessories.
And I just got it like the day before. I'm like, okay, let's. Whatever.
Yeah, we thought there was going to be more movement on the accessory front, and then there just was not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be good. That'll feel like coming home, more or less. That'll be nice. Alrighty, we got some raids during this event period over this weekend, or next weekend rather. In 1-star raids, you'll see Abra, Galarian, Slowpoke, and Drowsy. In 3-star, you'll see Gloom, Snorlax, Delcatty, and Swadloon. Yeah, Swadloon. 5-star, you'll see Reggie, Alecki, and in Mega, there's Mega Blaziken. And then lastly, new avatar items and stickers, Snorlax pattern nightcap, which is free for everybody once it's out, and the Snorlax onesie, which you will have to purchase as an avatar item. But the nightcap is free, so if you feel like getting your sleep on your avatar, that's a good one to pick up. I don't think these raids are very notable, except for the 5-star raid being Reggie Alecki. The rest, it's not even take it or leave it. I think I'm just leaving them.
Yeah. Completely leaving them.
Yeah,
I don't want to do any of these raids.
I mean, it's notable that Swadloon is in 3-star, but I'm not going to rate it. It's cool to see it.
I mean, I appreciate the theming for the most part.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Why are they all the same color?
No, they're just like kind of sleepy Pokemon.
Yeah, one's a cat. One's
I don't get the gloom
powder
as much.
Sleep powder.
Yeah, but there could have been a lot of sleep powder Pokemon there too. Butterfree.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. No, I would have liked to have seen Butterfree, but I think they were trying to take the opportunity to throw some unique Pokemon in there that we'd like never see.
Why not Purugly?
Why not Purugly? You know what? You make a good point. Justice for Purugly. Oh my gosh. Cool. So there's that event. I think I'm looking forward to I didn't talk about the wild encounters. Oh my gosh. Jigglypuff, Abra, Drowsy, Snorlax, Mareep, Teddiursa, Slackoth, Wooloo, which people are losing their minds over because Wooloo has been rare. And then if you're lucky, Munna or Komala, you'll see them in the wild. So there's that. So obviously the shoutouts are Wooloo and Komala from that group. Snorlax is good to grab. You want to make sure you get your XL candies for that while you can, because it's kind of rare to get. And catch the base catch rate for Snorlax is really non-advantageous to just throwing a regular Pokeball and then like fast catching out. I would recommend throwing berries at them if this is your first time catching a mass amount of Snorlax.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, anything else notable about this? I think the most notable thing is the plus coming out, and fingers crossed Pokemon Sleep hopefully at the same time, if not soon after.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
That's it. I mean, Komala's noteworthy, right?
Yeah, of course.
For about 30 seconds, and then that's it.
Well, unless you're Lachlan, and then that's just like makes your year, right? You know.
Yeah, that's okay. It's always going to make at least one person's year, and that's why Pokemon's great.
And that's great. Exactly. I'm with you there. All right, cool. Well, that brings us to the end of the news section, and what an action-packed news section it was. Kyle, I'm happily handing over the reins to you for this week's Gear Up.
So this week on Gear Up, I'm going to do what's the big deal with Reshiram. Not gonna lie, I was struggling on finding something relevant for Gear Up this week, so I just picked the most meta-relevant Pokemon I could think of I haven't talked about yet.
Nice. We've referenced Reshiram being just like the king of fire types for a long time.
Yeah, well,
but
I almost made this both Reshiram and Zekrom just to kind of bundle it up. I realized Zekrom's not the top of electric type, so it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
But Reshiram, it's easily the best fire type in the game at the moment. Non-mega and Shadow, because that's what we usually start with. But by how much? First up, signature move, Fire Fang and Fusion Flare has a DPS of 19.3 and a TDO of 666. Watch out.
Watch it.
But without Fusion Flare, Fire Fang and Overheat, a DPS of 18 and a TDO of 623. Still very good. The next best performance is Heatran. Fire Spin and Magma Storm. So Heatran that just came out.
Yeah.
17 DPS, 605 TDO. So it's a significant distance behind, all things considered.
So to kind of answer one of our questions we had last week, Magma Storm was very good for Heatran.
Yeah. Magma Storm, very good. Very good. Number 2 in fire type DPS in that regard.
Excellent.
Every Pokemon is just one move update away.
One move update away. That's right, DeFi.
Some other options only get worse, especially if you look at the more obtainable fire options, like non-legendaries. Volcarona, 16.9 DPS, 512 TDO. Darmanitan, which is probably the most obtainable one at the moment. 17.7 DPS, 394 TDO.
Ooh.
Very squishy. Chandelure, 17.1 DPS, 398 TDO. Still squishy.
It's a ghost. It makes sense.
Yeah. Blaziken, specifically Blastburn. 17.2 DPS, 383 TDO. It's the squishiest so far. Poor Blaziken.
Kicking chicken.
Reshiram has so much bulk, but it also has such high DPS that it just nothing else even comes close to competing. So even if we include Shadows and Megas, because this is now it's an impossible topic for me to ignore, Reshiram still is just about the best there is. It's only behind Mega Charizard Y and Blaziken. It's ahead of everything else. It's ahead of every Shadow.
Wow.
It's ahead of Shadow Entei. It's ahead of Shadow Moltres. It's just better than everything
What about
else.
Shadow Mewtwo with Fire Blast or Flamethrower, whatever it's got?
No.
Flamethrower.
No.
What?
Well, okay, so to be fair, my sorting specifically looks at matching movesets.
Mm-hmm.
So there may be an argument to be had there, but I don't actually think that's going to be the case.
Okay.
Losing out on a charge move or a fast move when something is already really strong, yeah,
it's not like it's a type that really was suffering like Ice was when Mewtwo came out, and they're like, just run Ice Beam on Mewtwo and call it a day.
Yeah, well, at that point in time, the best ice type was Jinx. So.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, what a time to be alive that was. Wow.
Good Lord. And as a closing comment, just looking through the releases coming up from now, it's very unlikely that anything is going to dethrone Reshiram. Even close, really. Iron Moth from Scarlet and Violet is the closest in terms of stats, but it's still not anywhere near as bulky as Reshiram is. So it's pretty safe. It's a pretty safe investment.
Yeah. So I will say I am kind of pumped to have seen Volcarona at the top of that list, though, for other obtainable options. Although it is funny to consider Volcarona an obtainable option.
It'll have a community day in like 4 years.
Yeah. But until then, we're all just kind of like scrambling out here trying to get our Volcarona candy. And
You've hatched them though, right?
I've only hatched one.
Okay.
I've still only hatched one. Despite hundreds of eggs, Kyle. Hundreds of eggs. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you very much for that. It was very uplifting. Yeah, you should invest in your Reshiram. I guess that's pretty much it. Okay, so on to Pokelore. And this week's Pokelore is going to focus on Komala, the drowsing Pokemon. This one's for you, Lachlan. Komala is a blue-gray Pokemon similar to a koala. It has large, rounded ears with light orange fur on the inside. Its large, ovoid black nose extends up between its fluffy white eyebrows, and there are additional white puffs of fur on each cheek. There is a small ruff of longer, gray fur around its neck. Each hand is black with 5 short fingers, and it has 3 black claws and a black paw pad on each foot. Its underbelly is white, as is its short, fluffy tail. Komala is usually seen holding a short wooden log, which it is given at birth. The log is typically a light brown with darker oval markings all over it. The ends of the log are tan with the growth rings visible. This Pokemon stays asleep from birth to death, staying this way because of its diet of certain leaves containing poison only Komala can break down, which induces sedative properties. Love it. While its expression sometimes changes as if it's aware of its surroundings, this appears to be a result of its dreams instead. It is able to eat, travel, and even battle without waking. If the log pillow it clings to is removed, it will be unable to sleep well and thrash wildly. However, it will sometimes cling to the arms of an arm of a trainer it trusts. During a deep sleep, it stops moving altogether. According to ancient people, if a small amount of the saliva created when it eats leaves is watered down and digested or ingested, one will be able to sleep well. This diluted saliva was also historically used as an anesthetic for surgeries. Hypno has been known to hunt this Pokemon in Alola, appearing to prefer them over humans. It means it's dreams. It eats the dreams. Komala is the only known Pokemon with the ability of comatose. Stats: max CP at 40 is 2582 and at 50, 2919. For such a small koala Pokemon, it's got quite the punch. 163 stamina, 165 defense, and 216 attack. 216 attack. Oh my goodness. Best moveset, if you can call it that. It's got kind of a weird moveset in Pokemon Go. Rollout. It is a normal type, by the way. Normal mono type. You want Rollout with Play Rough, mostly in response to fighting types. And then your second charged move can either be Bulldoze or Payback. Whoever gives you a good argument for it, they're probably right. I couldn't think of any. But yeah, there's that. That's Komala. There is a funny thing about this is that the shiny version of Komala, the only thing that changes is the color of the log. So there was this theory online of people were just like, so is the Pokemon the log? Or is it the koala? Or it was fun.
That is one of my favorite like Pokemon conspiracies.
It's great.
But
it's great.
It makes the most sense. Because why would the log change color when it's shiny? If it's not the part of the Pokemon,
throw it through the filter. Apparently the gray just stays gray.
I don't understand.
Yeah, no, nobody does. Hence the meme. Love it.
The log even has a face.
Stuff.
Like, come on.
It does. Yeah, it's got some real Plank energy. Yeah. But that's Komala, and you'll have your very own Komala next week when they're spawning in the wild for that catching some Z's event. It'll be great. But Mr. Kyle, we blew through Pokelore, which means we are at the doorstep of Pokepoll this week.
So last week's Pokepoll was, what is something in Pokemon Go that you were unaware of until someone pointed it out to you? Bonus points for a fun story. First one's from Modders, and he said, hello, gents. IVs. To say I was late to the party is a little understatement. It must have been at least 3 years in and 3 level 40 0-star Dragonites for me to listen to my more learned trainers. Waste of dust, candy, time. And when I traded one to Minimod, it went lucky, and he got a 98% IV beast. Pretty noobish behavior, chaps. Loving your work as ever. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, like, look, it's okay to not know about IVs, but like, did you not ever wonder what the rating system meant at all?
I mean,
it was really vague. It was very vague. It was bad.
But also at the same time, I mean, every single time we talk about IVs and we talk about, these are important if you're min-maxing, but at the end of the day, they really don't matter. It's percentage points, right? But yes, like if it's like if you know, now you know, and you can't unknow it,
Yep, exactly. Almost wish I could be blissfully unaware of IVs at some point.
True. It would make my life a lot easier. Less stress.
All right. Next one's from Maxitron. And they said, back in the first few weeks of the game when I was catching all I could catch, I was making some new friends and quickly discovered the feraligator-infested lake on campus near my home was one of the best places to find Dratini and Magikarp. That led to me learning about biomes and that Dratini and Magikarp liked being around lake biomes. Then I learned that not Dragonite and Gyarados are created equally as powerful when all of my initial efforts gave me Bite Twister and Steel Wing, not Dragonclaw, on my first of each. On another early outing, a friend and I were exploring the concept of nests. We were at a Squirtle nest running up and down the length of the park alongside a creek, catching all of the tiny turtles we could to get the shellfish Pokemon. Shellfish Pokemon? What?
Shoulder, right?
No, it's Squirtle nest. Squirtle's not a shellfish.
No, you're right.
Dude,
Let me see.
Don't disrespect Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Turtles are not shellfish.
Category. Isn't it the tiny turtle Pokemon or something like that?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie.
It is the tiny turtle Pokemon. Hey. Let's go.
Okay. Anyways, that's not the only reason we were there, though. You see, Charmander was hard to come by in those days, but nests in the first couple of rotations rotated the next evolution line in numerical order. So rotation time creeped closer, the tension built, and we were all the more excited to be some of the first players to evolve Charizards in our city. Nest rotation time rolled around, and all of our excitement evaporated as Squirtle turned into Cubone.
Oh,
With that rotation, Niantic decided to remove the predictability of them. I also learned that Dratini and Snorlax had been nesting prior to that rotation, but that seemed too overpowered to provide some players with Dratini, while others couldn't, or something like that. So Dratini hasn't nested since.
Something like that.
When did we all get our Charmanders and Charizards, you ask? Halloween that year was good to us. Our biggest, best, and most trespassing nest in town got Charmander to nest there. So every sunset for 2 weeks, the local pale skins would materialize along the perimeter and haunt the various holes in search of the lizard Pokemon. It was fun to watch security escort players off when they got caught shining their lights to avoid the gator in the pond at the 9th hole.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. You're trespassing at a golf course.
This is Florida, isn't it?
It probably is Florida.
Yeah.
Going outside in the middle of at Halloween. It's definitely Florida.
Yeah. I don't know. That sounds great. I mean, we talked about nests pretty recently. They should really flex nests more. Put Dratini back in the nest pool.
Yeah, I mean, nests are something that nobody knows about if you don't look for it. You might be like, why are there so many APOM here?
Yeah.
And then just go on about your day and never think about it again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always, it's really noticeable when you go to a place where it's like really big. Like when I go to the Emerson Park nearby here for events, it's obvious what the nesting Pokemon is because anywhere you go in that 20-acre park is going to show that Pokemon. You're like, okay, what's the common denominator here? Oh, it's Growlithe. It must be a Growlithe nest.
Yeah.
So
I just make nests visible. You don't have to tell me what's in them. Just tell me it's a nest.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be amazing. Gives some spice to the map, as we were talking about 2 weeks ago.
Last week for the trees and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways. Next one's from Cowboy Danger D, and they said, definitely IVs. I honestly had no clue about them until listening to your podcast, and you guys in the PvP corner broke it down. Heck, there are still times I have to listen back for reference. Totally fair.
I'll take that extra listen. Yeah.
Next response is from Triptando, and they said, that has to be quick catching. I had played multiple community days with a friend, and we both caught around 400 Pokemon in 3 hours' time. We had to stop at every cluster to catch them all. Then there were people arriving at the clusters later than us and leaving earlier. We wondered if they did catch them all. Later that same event, the same thing happened. I asked them, are you shiny checking or actually catching everything? They told me about quick catching, showed once how it worked, and recommended watching a YouTube video on it for extra information. My mind was blown. I've never played any event or even done a regular catch the same since then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I grind really hard, I can catch 500 Pokemon per hour during Community Day, a factor of 3 times more than before I knew the trick. The world had never been the same. Also, it is a bug turned into a feature. If only that would be done more often.
Ooh,
Hundo
yeah.
vibes all. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of singular things you can do in Pokemon Go, learning to quick catch is the one thing that will make your experience drastically different.
Oh yeah. That's like the number one thing for new players. Like if you say, oh, what's the thing that we can do to increase my play, my quality of play? Quick catch is like number
Quick
one on
catch.
that list.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know. It kind of bugs me that that's the thing.
Yeah.
Not because it's so good, but because the regular way is so bad.
Yeah, if the back button stuff was still in there for Android, that'd be really great.
I don't need to watch the whole animation. It's okay. It's okay that it's there, but it's too long.
Yeah,
it's too long.
I agree, but that is like core Pokemon thing is the wiggles and the catch or the bust out.
But it's clearly not that core because they let the bug exist and they know it exists.
Yeah,
and they've actively let it stay.
They have. Yep, and they've unofficially said through channels. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they have.
Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to this and you're like, quick, what now? Look it up. A video will do you more justice than us try to explain it now because you need a visual aid for sure.
Yeah, no joke. A 30 or 45-second video will tell you everything you need to know. And if you didn't know about it before, it will be a game changer.
Yeah. And it takes a little bit of practice. You know, you might need to really put some effort into trying to do it right for about 10 minutes. And then you will never be able to catch correctly, or not correctly, but in the original way again.
Without thinking about it at the very least.
Even when I'm doing raids, I still do the quick catch thing, even though I'm not about to back out until I see it's caught.
Yeah.
I can't stop it. So, yep.
Our next response in the form of an email is from I Am Teaspoon. And they said, hi guys, just want to send an email about the Poke Poll question. 1, if you attempt a raid and fail, you get 1,000 dust. However, you can attempt that raid again without using a pass if the raid time on the gym is not 0. This means if you have time, get to a raid at Hatch, solo the raid and test out different Pokemon or see moves of the raid boss and get 1,000 dust and knowledge of the raid boss. Then heal and make the best team. This time, invite friends and take the boss down. This has saved me frustration from losing a raid pass, especially my free raid pass as a free-to-play player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you fail the raid, you still get 1,000 Stardust. That's pretty much it. And your raid pass is not consumed unless you win or the raid has timed out entirely.
But if you do the raid again and win, do you get 1,000 Stardust again? Because that's how much a raid gives normally.
I believe so, yeah. The failed attempt awards 1,000. It does not affect the
What if
the
you
winning
fail
condition.
again?
You get another 1,000 Stardust, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm learning new stuff. Congratulations. Have never heard this.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Maybe I don't fail raids very often.
It's like it's not a big deal because if you can't hit the ready button and you can't like spam and farm 1,000 Stardust, 1,000 Stardust, it's 3 minutes. And so for somebody that's like trying to catch 2 Pokemon, you know, like that are weather boosted, catch 3 Pokemon that are weather boosted, you can do much more than that in 3 minutes and generate more Stardust. So I don't think people are taking advantage of it or abusing it, rather.
Yeah, but if you're somewhere that you've already caught all the spawns and you're not leaving,
if you're willing to wait in that lobby 3 minutes at a time, yeah, go for it.
I don't know. There's been some hints about a ready button.
I saw that people were kind of talking about
I don't know about. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Rumors only.
Rumors only.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, there's more to the email. You can bank a free raid pass and get 2 in one day. Spin a gym and get a free orange pass, but don't raid that day. I typically do this on Tuesdays so I can have 2 free raids on raid hour. Wednesday raid hour or anytime. Raid a boss, then spin a gym again, get another orange raid pass. Try and use a star piece and lucky egg if you do this trick. This is a great one right here because it's something that's so ingrained for the hardcore or the consistent player that the more average or casual player might not even know about it, and we don't even think that we need to share that information.
Putting this in another way, the reason that this works is because the game is coded to give you 1 free raid pass per day when you spin a gym, and this is gated to your time of day if you don't have one. But you don't lose it if you have one into the next day. So if you use that one and then you spin, it still counts as your first spin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's a good tip, real good tip.
Number 3, if something happens in a raid and you get booted or your phone loses signal, force close the app and immediately try and jump back into the raid. If you're still at the gym and the raid boss is still active and your teammates have not defeated the boss, you can jump back in and add your firepower. This happened to me on Shadow Mewtwo raid day. Started the battle just fine. Phone glitched. Got back in the raid when he was in the red. Didn't lose a Pokemon. Yep. Also good information to know. Don't give up on the raid if the game doesn't like you.
You know, this one, while it is a good tip, is very much like, did you turn it back off and turn it back on again? While it might fix most things, it won't fix all of them.
Yes. And if the gym finishes while you're out of it, you're out of luck.
Yep. You're not only out of time, you're also out of luck, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just the last line of the email. Sorry. Thanks for the work you guys do. I am Teaspoon.
I love that name.
Thank you very much.
Good name.
Next one in the form of emails from TJ, son of Ander. They said, I answered this on Spotify, but there aren't enough characters to include the story you asked for.
Thank you. Thank you for writing in then. That's awesome.
I'm usually the one filling people at raid hour weekly, and aside from distance trades for extra candy, the thing I find myself sharing the most and people are always surprised by is the blue halo around the profile that shows if you've had your daily interaction, and that there are functional terms for your friends list, just like your Pokemon inventory, like, quote, interactable. If you, dear listener, like Chris and Kyle, rarely interact with gifts, but do want the bonuses and experience that come along with increased friendships with other trainers, only open gifts from people you have not had your daily interaction. Other search terms include lucky and friend level number, no space with friend level, for your level of friendship. I make good use of this as I'm currently at 731 on my idol badge. Get out of here.
That's like almost twice as much as you can have friends.
Yeah, it is. That. So what you're saying here, TJ, son of Ander, is that you add a bunch of people, then you use them and you toss them on the wayside.
Uh-huh. Like so much garbage. Honestly, though, I mean, like, people do this all the time. They're like, hey, I'm looking for 20 new friends for friendship get to best, you know, and they're very upfront about it on social. They're like, hey, like, let's just be giftable and let's just be done with it, you know? And that's cool. But much like real life relationships, if you communicate up front what your expectations are, most of the time it's going to work out all right. So good for you. That's cool. That's quite the number on that idol badge. You know, platinum is a lot lower than that, right? You don't need any more. That's crazy. Oh my god.
I just hang on. Just quick math. Let's assume
quick maths.
No star piece.
Okay.
A best friend is 163. Sorry, lucky egg.
Yeah.
A best friend is 163,000 experience.
Yes.
Without a lucky egg. So that's 163,000 experience times 731. That's 120 million experience just from
friendship alone.
Just from friendships.
Friendship alone.
You've made it 2/3 of the way to level 50 on just friendships.
Wow. It really goes to show it's who you know, not what you know, huh?
Yeah. How many of those have you added up from Twitter?
Although I want credit, by the way. I want credit. I sent out so many gifts at NAIC that I have finally figured out that half of my friends list is composed of people just like me that never open up their gifts because I didn't hit my gifting limit, and every day I ran out of people to send gifts to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. When we had the event where we got guaranteed gifts from stops and I was sending as many as I could every day, I probably got 75 gifts total. I only have my friends list is only like 150 and I wasn't sending gifts to best friends.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've got that's half my friends list is not opening their gifts either.
Yeah.
And like part of me wants to like organize the friends list so that I can then just add a bunch of people to send gifts to. But then the other part of me is like, that's way too much work because the system does not have the tools that I need to make it easy.
Follow up too. Like, oh my gosh. Woof.
Nope. Anyways, there's a little more to the email. P.S. For Chris and Kyle, y'all are welcome to come to this year's potluck if you don't already have plans for Global Go Fest and are willing to drive to Madison. Winky face. P.P.S. Not sorry for the email that was apparently too long for Spotify. TJ Salamander.
I love that. Hey, you know what? My current plan is to stay local because I'm betting on being really tired after New York. But Madison isn't that far away. It's like a 3-hour drive.
It's not.
No.
That said, we're gonna probably walk like 50 miles in New York. So I don't know what I'm gonna physically be capable of the next week.
You know what it means for this time to be a not so notable trainer, Kyle? It means we have the freedom to walk.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just get some better shoes, Chris.
I will be getting some better shoes this time. Don't you worry. That being said, really quick, little heads up about New York. We're going to be doing, since we're not going to be part of any official Niantic events, although Niantic is hosting our stay and our travel, we should say, and our tickets, everything. We are going to be planning several little meetups during the day, different locations. We might be piggybacking with the Incensed guys too, because they're going to be holding a not so notable trainer meetup, and that sounds like a good time. We don't have official plans yet, but we will let you know what they are, and all that good stuff, probably on social media and in here. And in here, I mean like in an episodic format. So there's that. Cool.
All right. Last one in the form of an email. It's doozy from Del Hazard. They said, "Hello, legends."
So
I'm finally caught up on the episodes, and I'm now sad that I have to wait a week for new episodes. With the recent news about Niantic canceling NBA and Marvel and laying off 230 employees, wanted to hear your thoughts on something I've been thinking about. Well, it's good to see that they plan to narrow down focus on existing products, including Pokemon Go. We never want to see people lose their jobs. Some online reaction to this news was to comment on the remote raid changes affecting finances. While I do agree that this would have had a major impact, the thing I don't understand is why the promotion, specifically cross-promotion of their own games, is so poor. If you look at a company like Epic and games like Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys, there have been crossover events such as if you do X in Rocket League, you can earn Y in Fortnite. With all the IPs that Niantic had, it would have been pretty cool and smart of Niantic to employ this kind of promotion. I never played NBA All World, but for example, if they had a promotion and challenge for like, if you reach level 5 in NBA, you unlock a t-shirt with the NBA logo for your avatar in Pokemon Go. Even if there was some reason you couldn't reference NBA or other IPs in Pokemon Go, you could still have challenges and the rewards are not linked, like earn encounters or premium items. Especially encourage your largest player base to try their other games. Instead, over time, it felt like focus was taken away from Pokemon Go, even if that's not true. However, things like the Niantic post on Twitter, such as last week in Niantic, proceed to mention all their other games and not Pokemon Go, which doesn't help.
Yeah, that is odd.
I find it quite frustrating, to be honest. If Pokemon Go was in a more positive place and they gave incentives to play Peridot and other games, I and others would be more encouraged to try them, and some may even stick with them. I do, however, think that the IP of Pokemon just perfectly fits the vision Niantic has for its AR location-based game, as opposed to any other IP they've tried so far.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, and as I write this, I hope I didn't somehow miss any cross-promotion incentives that may have happened, making this all void. Insert nervous laughter here. Anyway, while I know of people who have quit the game or play significantly less, I still enjoy the game at its core and love the community around it. I just want to see it succeed and have the happy and positive player base I remember. Hope you guys and listeners have a wonderful week. Something long email. Del Hazard.
Perfect.
All right, Chris, you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the answer is exactly what you expect it to be, Del, is that Pokemon just does not do that with any other IP. They do not mix, they do not cross, they stay in their lane. And they are very protective of their lane. They're very protective of what is and is not considered official representation of their own Pokemon. They don't even let Niantic do costumes without express permission because it's an alteration of their core thing. And they hold those representations very close to the vest. It's one of the reasons why Pokemon is so unimpeachable as it is as an IP.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's just, I don't even actually know where my thoughts going right now.
Okay.
No. I don't know where that, no.
In addition, I would like to say that I think if we're going to be talking about approval processes when it comes to Pokemon, think about that also with like Marvel/Disney and NBA and stuff like that. You'd have to get all of these groups into a room together to do this. There are some companies that are very good about this, but it's usually like with a first party IP and not a licensed IP, and then a third party, right? So for example, like Capcom, didn't they do a crossover with Summoner's War? Give me an example that
they did. I mean,
right.
Capcom did Summoner's War, just did Assassin's Creed.
Right. See,
for example.
But that's a first party thing coming from a company that is just that game. Well, I mean, Summoner's War is now other games too, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That game was Summoner's War. And then they reached out to one third party and said, hey, want to play ball? Not a middle party going, hey, person we licensed to, hey, other person we licensed. Y'all want to meet up? Like,
exactly.
That's really hard to manage.
It'd be different if, let's say, Disney was to talk to TPC.
Yeah.
That's a conversation that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
It will never happen, but it could happen.
No. Those are two
Disney
companies
is more likely
that
to play ball than Nintendo is.
Yeah, but those are two companies that are used to walking away from the dessert table with the biggest slice of pie.
Exactly.
And those two people just can't exist in the same partnership.
And I think this boils down to what I said earlier when we were talking about this at the top of the show, is that it just, Pokemon Go is so much more than anything else around it that it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Why would TPC want to collaborate with the NBA?
Right. It would be only to the express benefit of the NBA game and probably zero to negligible benefit to Pokemon Go's player base and success. So then it'd be a waste of attention, funds, etc. Why not hold their own specific event and things like that?
All of that said, it is an absolutely fantastic idea. It makes complete sense to do things like this. As you said with your examples, Rocket League and Fortnite. Fortnite is the absolute monstrous king of this.
Oh, yeah.
And they've shown that it works really well when you have the bargaining tools to do it.
I gotta say, and I know that you and I are similar in this point, but I can't stand Fortnite as a video game. I don't like playing it, whatever. But all of the respect in the world for their marketing and what they do with that product. Those crossovers are insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next level.
Although at the same time now it's kind of watered it all down, because in one match you can have Goku against
Midoriya,
Deku against Naruto, against Batman, against Sherlock Holmes. If you care, Jim Sterling from the Jimquisition did a fantastic episode on this. You can look it up, but it makes it feel less impactful because they've done it so much.
Oh, sure.
But they have done a really good job with what they've done.
Yeah, everybody seems pretty much happy across the board with that, and that can't be said for a lot of things that popular video games are doing right now. Not naming any names, but I mean, like, it's difficult to constantly hit all the time, and they seem to with their base.
Yeah. And just one last comment about Pokemon Go not being on last week in Niantic. That's a really easy one, in that Pokemon Go dwarfs everything else in Niantic, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, Pokemon Go can have its own announcement via Pokemon Go, and it will get more interaction than anything else they post.
And to show it, I mean, they did for the 7-year anniversary thing. They did like a little, oh, here's all the stuff we've done this past year or so that we've introduced. And it's like a list of like 7 features.
Yeah. But like, if you go on Twitter, unfortunately, God help you, and you look at any post that Niantic makes, not Pokemon Go, Niantic, the comments are only about Pokemon. Every single comment is always about Pokemon. So they don't need to do more with Pokemon.
They really
already get all of it. They already get all that engagement.
It's very right. Very right.
Anyways.
Thank you for that email. That was a good one, though. Yeah.
So for this week's Pokepoll, we have, besides Squirtle, what other costumed Pokemon from other Pokemon games / shows would you like to see in Pokemon Go?
We've asked a similar question, I think, in the past, but there's been a lot more now. So
I've got 2 answers. I was trying to find a list to like work with here, but I couldn't. So one is a bad one from the anime that I remember. And that's the hair tuft Pikachu. The Sparky.
Yeah.
From it's like episode 10 of the
oh my gosh,
anime
from
like
the
that.
Ash clone.
Yeah. Who has the Pikachu, except that Pikachu is better than our Pikachu, at least right now.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be kind of funny to do something small like that.
That's cute. Yeah. I mean, and they're not averse to changing Pikachu just a teensy bit and being like, here's an event.
Yeah, exactly. And as for an actual costume, give me either, and it's not in the game yet, but I don't care, Pirate Cinderace from Pokemon Unite.
Oh, yeah.
Or like a dozen different costumes from Pokemon Unite, honestly. But Pirate Cinderace and the Astronaut Gengar are so good conceptually. I love them.
Astronaut Gengar is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
And like the Pilot Talonflame is also really good too. But yeah, those are my 2. I want those in Go. That'd be great.
Please bring over all of the Hollowware. They're just so good. They're just so good.
Citrus Berry Snorlax.
I love that one. That's so good. All right, I'm going to keep my answer simple though, okay? The Trico with the wheat in his mouth. That's an easy one to do. And doesn't even need to evolve. I'm okay with that. And another one that doesn't need to evolve would be a really cool trophy piece would be Crystal Onyx. And there could be an event around it. And at the end, you get an encounter with a special Crystal Onyx that has like its own like pseudo shiny animation that's unique only to that. It's like a form, you know? It'd be cool. Can't evolve. Okay with that too. But yeah, Crystal Onyx is from the anime, by the way, if anybody at home is like, what's that from? Yep. It's just a crystal colored onyx. Basically, they're just implying that
looks really good.
Onyx can be made from other minerals, essentially.
Yeah, I think the idea in the anime was that it is what it eats.
And
that one ate crystals.
Yep. So I'd love to see that personally. But those Hollowware, all of them is so good. That berry Snorlax. So funny.
It's very good.
All right. Anyway. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
but there's also like Firefighter Blastoise.
Yeah.
They're bad skins for a MOBA, but man, they are great skins for.
They're not bad skins for a MOBA.
I'm sorry, but if you compare any skin from League of Legends that's not a recolor to any skin from Unite, maybe 5 of the Unite skins stand up.
Here's the difference, right? Is that because the Pokemon cannot be like super changed. They can only have costumes on. And League of Legends characters, because it's their own IP, they're willing to be like, yeah, it's this character, but now he's half consumed by the void, or he's a human version of himself.
Why? I know the reason. It doesn't make the costumes good.
Oh, I think the limitations is part of the bigger idea and should be factored into your judgment.
Look at that $40 Alolan Ninetale skin and tell me that's a good skin.
No, I'm not going to argue price points with you. We're just talking about...
but like, you should look at the skin. It's a bad skin if it was $5 and it's $40. Anyways, we're going to move on. We're almost done here.
Would it be a bad skin if it was free?
It would be significantly less egregious, but I would still say this is not a good skin.
Maybe you'll get it from the machine, the luck machine thing. Did they still?
Don't talk about how bad that system is currently. I already heard the complaints.
I'm pretty sure they changed it.
No, they added a new one. They added a new gotcha dice event thing Don't worry about it. It's
Hey,
bad.
we heard you liked gotchas, so we put a gotcha in your gotcha. All right. Anyway, dear listener, if you have an answer to this week's Pokeball question, which was one more time, besides Squirtle, what other costume Pokemon would from other Pokemon games/shows would you like to see in Pokemon Go? You can answer when we post it on Twitter at GOCast Podcast. If you're a patron of ours, we have a channel in our patron exclusive Discord that you can answer in the hashtag Pokepoll channel. You can also send us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com or leave us a voicemail at 262-586-7717. If you're listening on Spotify on the app, you can answer the question in the Q&A section right there in app 2. And if you're watching on YouTube, yes, we do have a video version of this podcast. You can answer in the comments and we'll pull from all over the place. Okay, speaking of emails and voicemails and all that good stuff, Kyle, where are we in this show? I am so bad at keeping it straight.
It's time for emails.
Oh, that's right. Thank you very much. And 2 voicemails. We're going to start with our first voicemail, which is from Crazy Cobra. Back again.
Hey, GoCast. It's Crazy Cobra again. And I just wanted to talk about my week since it's been a very good one. Much better than usual. So in my game, I have made quite a few crazy accomplishments. Well, not crazy per se, but crazy to me because I'm a very casual player who's been cooped up in the house and has still managed to get 100,000 XP per day, which is one of the things I wanted to mention.
That's incredible.
I don't have any PokéStops near me, but I'm getting really good at X-Select throws. And I'm almost to level 37, which I'm pumped about, because, like I mentioned last time, I need to start nominating PokéStops, get the experience, not the game experience, but like experience on what makes a good PokéStop or not. So, I'm really excited about that. Okay, here's the cool thing. Last week, I found 2 Galarian birds. Okay, so the first one was a Galarian Articuno, and I told you my story before. I already have one. But then later on in the week, I found a Galarian Zapdos, which I don't have. And that's what I've been saving my Master Ball for, another Galarian bird, which is not my Articuno.
Nice.
So I tossed it, I got it. I completely forgot to pineapple it, so I feel like an idiot, but still. I was very, very proud of that. And then I caught a shiny Fomantis. I was not expecting it, but I did check every single Fomantis I saw because I knew the shiny had just arrived. And probably on the last day or two, I just click on one, there's my shiny. And so I have it, and its IVs are trash, but I have a shiny, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, the coincidence. First of all, I wanted to wish you a happy 5-year anniversary of the podcast. I'm really loving it, and keep up the good work. The coincidence. So, your first ever episode, which also is what the anniversary is on July 1st. I watched your latest episode on July 1st, and your first episode on July 1st. Whether that's a coincidence or not, I don't know, but I just wanted to mention it.
Synchronicity.
It's kind of fun.
Nice.
But, yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I just wanted to share my happy little things with you guys. So, I'll see you next week, and thanks for the podcast. Bye.
Well, thanks very much for the well wishes about the anniversary, and congratulations on your second Galarian bird. Just one more to go.
Jeez.
One
Crazy.
more to go. Wow.
Also, 100,000 experience a day
with no stops nearby.
That's exceptional. Like
that's
really good.
Think spawn density ain't hot either. Then too, you know.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is some effort. So congratulations. Keep up the good work. 37 is just the beginning. You'll soar to higher heights. That'd be great.
It's the halfway point. We're not counting 50. It's okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Whoo-wee. But thank you very much for the voicemail, Crazy Cobra. Appreciate it. And again, congrats on your Galarian Zapdos. Our next voicemail rather, is from Walrain 1106.
Hey, what's good, guys? Walrain 1106, back at it to answer the Pokepoll for this week. Don't want to be too long-winded, but just a couple of things I thought of right away. First off, quality of life with the gift opening system, that little glitch that you can do to open the gifts quicker. I know that doesn't impact you guys and you still don't open them, but either way, I think it helps people and it helped me when I didn't want to spend 10, 15 minutes opening those. I would say another one is Wayfarer. Having learned about the S2, S14, S17 cells, prior to knowing about that, I had submitted a few stops just kind of willy-nilly. And now that I know that there's this whole intricate mapping system behind it, it's really easy to want to sit down, take the map, and pinpoint exactly where you're going to add your stop to go ahead and try and create as many waste spots as possible, as many gyms as possible. I've got a couple parks in my local community that I've got mapped out, and I think I can legitimately get to 2 or 3 gyms by specifically placing them on certain cells. So that's a nice one. I would say the biggest one. I joined the server last June, started listening to the podcast last June, and went crazy last summer. I think I caught like 30,000 Pokemon. I went up like 4 or 5 levels, couple dozen million experience. And I kid you not, I had zero idea that there was the catching glitch where you could pull the ball over and then catch it and run. For a good 3 months that I had started listening to y'all, I had no idea what it was. And then we talked about it on the podcast, and it changed my gameplay forever. So I would say that's the biggest one for me is the Pokeball catching glitch. I honestly don't think I could play the game any other way.
That's right.
If you're, trying to do things on the go, being able to go ahead and, catch things that much quicker and, is huge. So cheers. Sorry for the long voicemail. Hope y'all are doing well. My wife and I's, baby, turned 6 months old here this week. So it's been full circle, started last year. She was 3 months pregnant. When I got to the podcast, and now we're here, and I'm a whole dad. So that's a grand old time. Cheers, shiny luck all, and talk to you soon. Bye.
So
yes,
I understand correctly. Walrein caught 30 some odd million Pokemon, 30 some odd million experience, 30,000 Pokemon before they found out.
Yes.
About quick catching.
Yes. Are you going to do the math of how much time that was?
I don't want to. I'm just saying that much play in one summer at the default speed of the game is impressive.
We've done it.
Not that many. That many catches is insanity.
Yeah, probably not that many catches.
That's a third of your total lifetime catches or something like that, Chris. Like you have 120, 100, probably 150 now. I haven't actually looked in a while, but I have like 90. No, actually 65, 77. I have 77,000. So you probably have about twice that.
I have 174,000.
Okay. A little more than twice that. So yeah, that's a lot of Pokemon to be caught normally. Nice.
That's a lot of, oh wow. I got a shiny Mudkip just now, by the way. Isn't that
Get
great?
Out of here. Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway.
Chris and his, 40 house spawns.
See how many there are now. It's insane.
I have caught them. I have caught some, but this is my house right now.
Oh, for those of you who can't see it, he's got 4.
Yeah, I got
4
4
on screen.
There was a 5th one that I had already caught. So
wow,
5.
it's a party over there, man. That's a whole raid group.
My gosh. Okay. Once again, quick catching though to save the day.
I was just about to say, I think at the end of the day, the takeaway is learn how to quick catch if you haven't. Apparently, it is, as far as the game's is concerned, life-changing. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the voicemails. We got one email, and this one is from Nate. And Nate wrote, "Hey guys, this catch radius thing is still bugging me. Saw Niantic's comments about seeing too many Pokemon on screen possibly being, quote, overwhelming, end quote, to new players. But I have to say, they should worry more about underwhelming them." Preach. That's funny. I live in the biggest city in my state, about 10 minutes from the center of the city, and I can barely encounter Pokemon near my house. For the most recent Spotlight Hour, I couldn't get out of the house because my toddler's bedtime is 6:30, and I was only able to encounter and catch 5 Rufflet over the course of the whole hour, despite roaming every corner of my house. Forget shiny hunting. I didn't even have enough candy to evolve one. I don't consider myself a rural player because this isn't, by any means, a rural area, but the smaller encounter distance really just turns away rural players more than anything. Anyway, sorry for the long email, Nate. All right, so I gotta say, that's really surprising for where you say how close you are to a city center. I'm curious to hear if you have PokéStops near you or not, because that will influence spawn density quite a bit. And if you're looking to bring up some, and I know this, people are like, oh, of course, do Niantic's work for them. Use Wayfair to your benefit and try to get some stops nearby, and you'll probably help your spawn issue there. But the fact that that exists in the first place is concerning.
Yeah, that especially because for Spotlight Hour, they do turn on extra spawn points.
Yeah, all over the place.
For those watching the video, my spawns at 5 or 6. For usual Spotlight Hour when recording, I'll have 10, 15 or more. So that is unfortunate. One comment I didn't make about Walreen's voicemail is relevant here about the Wayfair. Hearing people do this stuff with Wayfair, conceptually, it's so great. The idea of being able to plan and see where the best place to have Pokestops are. If it wasn't 6+ months of lag time for submitting them.
Yeah.
It really kind of disincentivizes me from submitting a stop that is like 100 feet outside my front door. Because it's just like, well, 6 months from now, I find it gets rejected. And then I'm like, okay, well. So Wayfair can be great, but also it has its problems.
It is kind of a bummer. Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for the email, and we hope that your situation improves if you're able to get some Wayfair, or time will tell. Quite literally, your toddler will grow up, and you will hopefully have more freedom in the evening, maybe even as a activity for the two of you to do. That'd be fun. Very, very fun. But thank you for the email, Nate. If you, dear listener, would like to send us an email or a voicemail like these fine folks did, you can by sending an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. You can also leave us a voicemail, as said before, to the number of, I scrolled right past it. What am I doing? Here we go. 262-586-7717. You can also visit our website for all things GoCast Podcast at gocastpodcast.com. We also have a contact page. You can send emails through there, or if you want to check the number or the spelling of the email address, that should be listed there as well. Follow us on Twitter at GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support the show monetarily, throw us a buck every month or so. Please, that'd be great if you're considering that. Go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And yes, this is also how you get access to our patron exclusive Discord, if you're curious. But speaking of patrons, shout outs to our elite trainer tier patrons at the $10 tier. Thank you so much, first of all. And secondly, here are your names: Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Tish, Marvin and Mimi, Swartzer, Hisui and Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Motters, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, Kelvin, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, and Victoria. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support in helping us keep the digital lights on. Hope to see a fair amount of you during this Go Fest season. That'd be pretty sweet. And if monetary support is in the cards for you, but you'd like to help support us all the same, you can by leaving us a review. I'm pretty much anywhere that allows reviews. We got 2 new reviews since the last one. Actually, we got 3. Okay, let me lead. I'll leave the third one for last because it requires some commentary from myself. Okay. So the first one is from Galarian Guy, and they said, just an S tier Pokemon Go podcast. Do you like Pokemon Go? Do you like hearing honest people with a touch of cold, hard truth and a splash of comedy? Then you better get listening, buddy. Smiley face emoji. Love this podcast, and I don't miss an episode. I hope it brings as much joy to you as it does to me. Thank you, gentlemen. And of course, DeFi. Thank you very much. That's really kind of you to say. Glad to hear you're enjoying the show and that we're funny. I don't think a lot of people would agree with that. This one is from ManuTD 1980, and the review is titled Really Good. This is a high-quality podcast. If you're reading this right now, just know that you are doing a good job, or great job. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, and this third review, it was a 1 star out of 5, and it just said blank this. Use your imagination for that. And this person has previously left 5-star reviews and re-left 5-star reviews like 6 or 7 times, but the content of those reviews were only ever heart emojis. And so I don't know what you want me to do.
So is that the title and there was no body?
No, it's just the title and body. Just that's it.
Oh, okay.
Just emojis,
okay, well,
heart emojis, happy face emojis. So if you're like, why won't they read out my name? It's because there's nothing to read in that review. So sorry. Thank you very much for having left so many 5-star reviews and then deleting them and re-leaving them. But what I won't do is read out your name if you leave a 1 out of 5-star just to get attention. So heads up to that individual. Thanks for playing the game, but maybe next time. Cool. Kyle, I think we just got to set some goals and then get out of here. Is that right?
Yep, it's time.
Sweet. All right. What are you looking to do this week? It's tomorrow is Squirtle Community Day Classic.
All right. So 10 shiny Squirtles.
Oh boy.
2 shiny sunglass Squirtles. Hopefully. I'm hoping to do better than these, but I'm being conservative because I'm not sure what the day's going to go like.
Yeah.
Go back and Mega Progress. I haven't done that in a little while. I feel like when I stopped setting it as a goal, I stopped doing it.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
Finish my 2 rocket research, which just means fight Giovanni once, actually. And then I need to finish the anniversary research. I think I need 3 buddy candies, and then I got to do like the evolution, I think, because I haven't done that yet. I switched to my Pidgeot for this one because I'm like, I'm not going to get it done if I don't.
Exactly right. Yeah,
don't appreciate that. I will say, of all the tasks, don't appreciate the 7 buddy candies.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a bummer. I also switched to my Pidgeot just for this. But man, that Pidgeot's getting a lot of kilometers walked. It's like, oh, is it an event where you need candies? It's my time to
put
shine.
me in, coach.
Yeah, honestly. Okay, that's fine. Good. Those are good, very good goals. For myself, I want to catch 20 shiny Squirtle, also 2 shiny sunglasses Squirtle, hatch 50 eggs, and continue my mega progress with my newly minted Hundo Sableye. I think I'm 1 mega away. That'll be tomorrow from Mega 2, and then I'll start the grind for Mega 3. So already en route to finishing that. Just want to keep it up. And with that, we'll bring episode 242 to a close. Thank you so much for listening. Lots of stuff top to bottom in this episode. I am going to be putting out some sort of communication about our anniversary celebration bonus episode. Kyle and I will try to find time to the best of our ability to do so. But I will put out a call for voicemails and emails, and we'll collect several of them. We've already gotten 1 or 2. So looking forward to hearing people's memories or celebrate Pokemon Go or whatever you want to do when that goes out. So keep your eyes open on Twitter and all that good stuff. But until then, we'll see you next episode. 243. Yeah, 243 will be next episode. Until then, shiny vibes. Good luck this weekend for Community Classic, and bye-bye.
Bye.